Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, good evening, everyone. You are once again welcome here on the platform for raising awareness. At the one of the international news, the Russia has just taken another step, unprecedented. NATO is panicking. Estonia is not knows more which breast it is. The act was laid in Estonia. Yes, we don't really know what it is Russia is looking. But what Russia has just posed as act, all NATO states are in maximum alert. He wonders what's going on with Russia. What is it? What does Russia want to do? Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, we have 3 MiG fighter jets. I think they are 1,000 Russians who entered the airspace of NATO on the Estonian side. 3 MiG aircraft, the MiG-31, and you know it. Not long ago, Russia entered the territory of Romania. Before that, it was Poland. So here is a situation that has aroused so much of worry within the ranks of the soldiers of the military hierarchy. This time NATO was forced to react immediately. So what actually happened? The world is overwhelmed by the nature of actions that Russia is taking pose vis-à-vis NATO at present. And so, ladies, young ladies and gentlemen, as part of this video conference, it is from this news that we are going to speak. But before continuing, I would like to request to share the video, put many likes, and always remember not to leave your different opinions in comment. Let's go deep. So, it is a violation according to the official information is a breach aerial from NATO space. And this Monday, this Friday, September 19, 2025, 3 fighter jets, 3 MiG jets, 31 violated the airspace of Estonia near Vindlo Island in the Gulf from Finland. So it's in this area that it happened. In the Gulf of Finland, they stayed about 12 minutes in the Estonian sky. They have penetrated the Estonian sky. It's 3 AMIG. They stayed there for about 12 minutes. Yes, and the MiG planes are not planes that pilot themselves automatically. That means there were people who were inside. There were Russian pilots who were at inside. And he still knew that they were elsewhere, that they were in the territory Estonian. They came back, they stayed there for 12 minutes. But what is it that happened? So, the particularity, it's that none plan, no flight has been filed. They have not filed flight plan. Usually, if it is within the framework of the cooperation, you file a plan of flight. We know where you are going, fly over space. There you go. So you are allowed, when the plan of flight is filed there, you are authorized, but they did not file any flight plan, which means it could create clashes. This could create clashes between the machines which circulate in the sky over there. If they don't have filed the flight plan, they are there parked in the sky over there. And if that coincides with the route of an airplane, by example. So the worst thing is that the transponders were turned off. The transponders were turned off. So it was impossible to communicate with them. The Estonian authorities could not communicate with these planes. And the worst thing is that there is no communication with air traffic control. They did not communicate with the air traffic control. However, the various planes that fly through space aerial, you have time to communicate often with control air, which helps to avoid collisions, but he had no contact. So for Estonia, it is a calculated provocation of Moscow. This is a real provocation, calculated. These 3 planes were escorted. They were intercepted and escorted. They left from where they left. But NATO is no more willing to tolerate because it was the Poland. We haven't even finished with the Poland. It's Romania. We even not finished with Romania. This time it's Estonia. It's country bolt, do you see? And so that causes problems for NATO. NATO wonders what's going on really. And so here is a situation that will have military repercussions. In terms of military repercussions, it is a signal of firmness, but defensive. For the intercepted auto proves its reactivity, but it underlines that remains in a defensive posture. Russia attacks, NATO reacts. So that means we are entering the thing in war with NATO. Russia is entering the war with NATO. That's what it's going to mean. Yes, because that's how many times Utani airspace is violated. Well, we do not expect from the authorities, Russians, that their territories have been raped by NATO people. No, but this time it is Russia that rapes. So the incident will justify the reinforcement of the Baltic air policing mission. So they already wanted to deploy a police in the air. at the level of this Baltic border with Russia. And we know what is happening in this area is very, very serious since the Baltic Sea, which is water international, it is coveted at the times by Russia, which has on the outskirts Kaliningrad. And on the other side, we have the Baltic countries which are there, which exercise a great control over it. The Baltic Sea has become a point of stumbling. So finally, with this, which just happened, the Baltic states within the framework of NATO will obviously send surveillance missions to level of this border, which risks to create very serious incidents. And so then one of the first, acts that will be posed, it would be the deployment of the Baltic mission air policing. So the more there will be, the more planes, more patrols and more radars. But for Moscow, it is a clear message. NATO is deploying, but NATO does not dare to shoot. There you go. And so the Baltic states are exposed. Whatever happens, we don't know really not what is Russia wants. No one can explain it. But we will continue to follow this news and everything that goes with it come out. We'll come back to talk about it here on the platform of awareness raising. So thank you all. I come back later with news. It was the voice of your humble servant, the Samurai, Mr.